Hello there, fellow nobodies. My name is Knump, and this is the show you've never heard of. Tonight we're going to kind of jumble together a little bit of rumor, a little bit of newsroom, and we're basically going to throw all of it at you at the same time. Tonight we're going to be briefly touching on how Titanfall is already falling short of predictions and expectations with their open beta release. The black screen of death is a thing that you apparently need to be worried about, and the PS4 is outselling the Xbox One by almost 2-to-1 in the marketplace. So let's get the ball rolling tonight here. Let's start things off with another little update on Titanfall. Titanfall, for those of you who don't know, is Xbox One big shiny release gem thing. Half of it's been developed by the same people who are doing the Call of Duty games. It's supposed to be this giant, happy, fun multiplayer arena with multiple people and mechs and tanks and killing and shooting up the faces and things. I'm not overly enthusiastic about it because there's absolutely no single player. There's a multiplayer campaign, but there is no single player to it, and that's pretty much a cutoff point for me. Part of the problem here is that it's not quite living up to expectations. It's already gone full open beta, and people are already starting to say that it's not going to live up to the hype. This is kind of expected because it has really been built up, but it's kind of the catch-22 here of you can only build up a game so much and only have people expect so much, and yeah. Some of the things that people are reporting is that the arenas are too large for the 6-on-6 matches, and people aren't really sure if this is how it's going to be outside of beta or if it's just in beta with the restrictions on. One of the rumors that did come out is that there will be giant monsters roaming around the maps, and people were originally saying these were going to be big and hostile and get in the way of everything, and that sounded really cool. This was unfortunately quickly quashed, and people said no, they're going to be background monsters. They're just in their back. Not hostile, not killing players, it's just players on players, and that's a little bit of a disappointment. If you're hoping to jump onto the full open beta, get there quick, because essentially they're saying it's full open beta until they hit an arbitrary number. If you're on PC and you do have an EA loathing thing going on right now, you're not going to be happy to hear you have to have an Origin account to actually beta test this on PC. Titanfall is not entirely exclusive as exclusives get. It will be available on the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, and PC, but it's really not in PS4. Even though crackers have already opened up the source code and found that there are little hints and blips and pieces of code that hint towards a PS4 launch, everyone's saying that no, this was before an exclusive contract was signed. Anyone that's hoping that Titanfall will come out multi-console later will be sorely disappointed. This is not going to happen. Get a PC, get an Xbox One, or don't get the game, because that really seems like a viable option right now. Sorry guys. No single player, which is a firm not happening for me. I don't take anything online. There are enough screaming 10-year-olds in the world. I don't want to hear them. Moving on. Keeping things semi-related here, in the middle of February, an update was released for the Titanfall to tweak the controller a little bit on the Xbox One. They wanted to do something a little less flicky with the outer peripherals. I have no idea what that means, but apparently they did that. This has caused somehow a little bit of a problem. Affectionately referred to as the black screen of death, Xbox One console owners are now reporting that during Titanfall beta testing and certain other games, their screen will black out, and after reboot it will remain black, and they will not see anything at all. Microsoft has launched a quick explanation saying, oh no, don't worry, it's fixable, kind of. You just have to turn off your console, hold the power button for 10 seconds and unplug, essentially draining the entire system of power and doing a very hard reboot on the system. That's not a fix at all. No, you fucked up with a bad game, and you broke it. You guys broke it good. Everyone's saying hopefully we'll tweak this and kind of fix it in March, and guys, really? Face palm. It's meeting. It's meeting, really. You started out with DRM. And people who don't know what DRM is, essentially, you had to be online to actually play a game. There had to be a constant connection. If anyone plays Diablo 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Once the backlash for DRM hit, they decided, oh no, it's okay. But you have to log on once every 24 hours to verify your games. I don't stick around that much for gaming. There are over 250 titles behind me, and I will not go on once a day to verify. Fuck all. So that was quickly dismissed, and now they're having problems with Titanfall. And guys, Head S needs to separate here. I'm sorry. I enjoy my Xbox. I enjoy my Xbox 360. I thought the controller was more ergonomic. I've got a bigger library for it. And I'm buying a PS4. That's gotta hurt. Couple of nods to the Pokemon franchise here. First off, we're going to somebody who modified an old version of Pokemon Red and put it onto a Twitch stream and did something rather unique with it. They basically had a Python script recognize speech patterns in chat to convert some of the things to actual button management into the game, which is a really strange way of saying when people would enter things into the chat, it would correspond to the original Game Boy buttons and control the player. That is a really bad idea for 10,000 people at the same time. It actually erupted in two online civil wars, one involving an Eevee, one involving a Lapras, and somehow involving Surf. People were in there just harassing and canceling things, and it turned out that the entire party of 6 comprised of Odyshes. Not exactly what I was enthusiastic for when I heard that you had 1,000 people playing a Pokemon game at the same time. I was really hoping that the random trainer encounters would actually be like an MMO, and instead of having the boy who wears comfy shorts is actually some Australian kid or somewhere else far away from me that, you know, is far. I thought that would have been a great idea. If somebody can actually get that working, that would be cool. But why would you have 10,000 people playing the same Pokemon game? That just sounds frustrating and evil. And keeping on with the Pokemon theme, Pokemon X and Y are rumored to have a DLC package come out probably later this year. It's supposed to include a brand new city and the original legendaries, so you've got Mewtwo, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres popping up somewhere into the game. Switching over to releases and things that aren't going to be released, one of the major announcements that BioWare has done is that Mass Effect 4 is actually going to happen. They've listened to the people and they've decided that the ending for Mass Effect 3 was so horrible that they needed to make another one to fix it. One fan actually did a 594-page rewrite over a 6-month period of just the ending for 3 and how it should have been done properly. I'm glad that they've taken the hint and actually made another game. I hope that they will really just try to make things stable instead of going for a dramatic twist at the end. BioWare, you are not M. Night Shyamalan. Don't fuck it up this time! You've got another chance. You have fans that are willing to buy the product and potentially rage over it for months and or years afterwards. Just take your time, make it reasonable. Metroidvania games. It's a genre. That happens. People who do know what they are have probably already played a game called La Mulana and be excited because the second one is coming out. It went for Kickstarter because it's an independent game and they don't actually get real money, and the Kickstarter goal was met. They got $250,000. They have started production, and if you were one of the donators on Kickstarter, then they will actually send you a beta code. So have fun with that. If you have no idea what a Metroidvania thing is, then go play Metroid or Castlevania. It's a side-scroller action thing, and it's awesome, and you need to do this. Also, if you play La Mulana, you get a whip. So Indiana Jones fans, you definitely need to pick this one up. It's very entertaining, and it's pretty fiendishly difficult if you're up for a challenge. On to the couple of things that have been completely quashed in the rumor mill. Sorry guys, this is not happening. For those of you who are still hounding for a Final Fantasy VII remake, the director has gone on record saying, look, guys, it's an amazing game and I love it, and I would love to be able to remake it. But Square Enix said no, and they hold the rights and everything, so I would have to rebuild it all myself, and that's just not happening. Final Fantasy VII is not going to be remade, but for the time being it is on sale on Steam, so have fun. So if you've been following the Fallout 4 rumor mill, you know that you have had it up to here with myths and rumors and all kinds of stuff. IMDb had a false page open up for Fallout 4. There was a fake homepage made for a big countdown to reveal things about Fallout 4, with a giant Morse code thing going on in the background. It was incredibly done. Yeah, they've gone on record saying it's not happening this year. Don't even think about it. I'm sorry, we know we've seen the maps that supposedly lay out Boston and MIT and all the cool things that are happening with super mutants, and this is all complete myth and unconfirmed. Nothing is happening this year with Fallout 4, nothing will happen for a little while. It's not necessarily not under development. They have copyrighted the name and they have done all the patents and happy fun legal work, but we're still a ways away. People who are fans of the Elder Scrolls series will have both good and bad here. The Elder Scrolls Online is going as planned and it does look really pretty, but if you were really into it for the RPG gameplay, I'm sorry, but it's taken out and no. They've stripped it all away and made it an MMO. Now they're charging a ridiculous amount for a subscription. Forbes has actually gone on record saying that this is not exactly a great financial standing for them, because not only have they received an M rating for an MMO, which is usually not a good sign, they're also rumored to be charging anywhere from $60 to the game plus $50 a month in subscription fees, just to be a little magic wizard thing and blowing the world up with fireballs. No. And keeping things on with the MMO track, for those of you who are playing World of Warcraft, I don't know why. But have faith, because all of those people who say, don't worry, the game actually starts at level 90, well, for $60 you can automatically launch your character to there. Yeah, you can buy at any point, jump to level, why? Why would you do that? I get that you're all grinding, and how the fuck in the game can you get into the level cap? What are you doing? Really? Going for gear and numbers? But yes, at any point you can take a new or old character, and for $60 fee you can automatically have them boosted up to level 90. So back onto something that's making me a little more happy. Super Smash Bros. 4 has released a new item today. It's the fairy in the bottle from the Zelda series. So for those of you who don't know what that does, is a little fairy in a bottle, break the bottle, and the fairy comes around. It heals you for about 8 to 10 hearts depending on the Zelda game you're in. Because Super Smash Bros. Works with a damage percentage base, I'm assuming that it'll be a recovery item that'll bring you down, or in the really strange case, you can actually hang on to the fairy in the bottle, and when you're killed, it will resurrect you for about 8 hearts worth. So it'd probably leave you around the 20% damage mark. That would actually be an interesting little tactic there if you're going around in a tournament play and you're picking up a bottle and a fairy, and all of a sudden somebody's launching you off the edge, you're getting a little more drastic, and hey look, resurrected, screw you all. One thing I will be attaching a link for this time is the flowchart of how to pick the perfect game. It is absolutely ginormous, and it has multiple choice in various things, and they all actually do give sound recommendations. So I'm going to have a little screenshot going up during the video right about here, and afterwards there will be a link below for the full-size chart, which is really, really long and big and awesome, and I do recommend it. And if you don't make it to the bottom of the chart, there's a little game there called Psychonauts. You need to play this game. You do. It's on the Xbox, it's also on Steam, and it's really, really fun to play. And you get to light psychic bears on fire with pyrokinesis. That's pretty much all you need to know. For those of you who want a little more of a gore fest but don't want the horror survival that generally comes with it, I'm proud to announce that there is another military shooter called Sniper Elite 3 coming out. Why is it so gory? Well, they've unveiled a ridiculously graphic and detailed kill cam. They've pretty much removed all elements of strategy and plot to add 5 distinct layers of carnage to each enemy character. The 5 unique layers are skin, bone, vascular tissue, muscle, and blood. So you'll actually see realistic 3D droplets and spray leaving the body along with chunks of stuff in a very, very up close, gruesome-y mess. Generally that sounds good, but when the online community is full of people who say that this is, quote, going to be money, unquote, and dude is totally visceral, I think I'm going to have to pass. It's not quite up to my swag level, gentlemen. We have to kind of end this one on a sad note today. For those of you who have played the System Shock series and or the Bioshock series, you know what great games they can definitely be, and how great the atmosphere was. Upon the release of DLC for Bioshock Infinite, Irrational Games is closing its doors. They will be no more, they will cease to be, they are pining for the fjords. Ken Levine has decided it's time to wind down the company and is taking a smaller publisher role at Take-Two Games. This is unfortunately a very sad development for me. I really, really did like the Bioshock series, and I did get into System Shock at a much later time, but these are definitely games I highly recommend, and these were games that were done right, especially from big studios. I'm really hoping that he carries this trend on to Take-Two Games. Levine has left a note to the fans saying that he does have a new project in mind, but he feels that the challenge is better approached with this new company. So whatever you do have in store, dude, just go with it. You've done great things in the past, and we expect to see great things in the future. But it is definitely a sad day to see Irrational Games go. So to try and recap on tonight's episode, Xbox One is already starting to slip on the marketplace to PS4. Titanfall is not quite living up to the hype, but people are still giving a little bit of breathing room because it is still in open beta. There's expected to be DLC for Pokemon X and Y. Mass Effect 4 is definitely in the works, and Elder Scrolls Online is already hitting a turning point with the rumors of a subscription that's really going to alienate the gaming audience. If you have any updates on the news articles or rumors that I mentioned today, please leave something in the comment section below. Thank you very much. This is Knump signing out.